Consider it a new experiment from some of the most conservative lawmakers on Capitol Hill.
It's so good when you get to connect to the people back home.
The House Freedom Caucus, a group of Trump allies, are launching a new podcast. North Carolina's Mark Meadows, the first up to bat. Much of the 20-minute pilot episode was red meat for conservatives, a discussion of the ouster of former Speaker John Boehner, plus reaction to the Democratic investigations into the Trump White House.
They're looking under every rock to try to get things that are damaging on the president and his family and those in his cabinet.
Ultimately, this is the dream of politicians.
Georgetown professor Jonathan Ladd studies the cross-section of politics and media. He says this sort of podcast gives politicians a chance to bypass the press and speak directly with their constituents and supporters.
This sort of thing is not designed to really appeal to undecided or non-political voters, the swing voters.
Politicians, of course, have traditionally experimented with the latest communication platforms to get their message out unfiltered, from fireside chats to social media. When it comes to the podcast, Ladd says, the best comparison across the aisle might be Pod Save America, hosted not by politicians, but by a trio of former Obama staffers.
Sometimes by trying to be entertaining, and sometimes trying to be particularly intense or particularly vitriolic, they get people engaged.
What remains to be seen is whether this new podcast can get any sort of following. Since it was first posted online about 2 weeks ago, that premiere episode featuring Congressman Meadows has been played just over 3,000 times on the website SoundCloud. Ladd says building an audience can be difficult, but also says do not expect that to deter these lawmakers.
It's not going to stop politicians from trying to speak to their supporters directly.
On Capitol Hill, Kevin Fry, Spectrum News.